All right, it looks like we have 2 more games to go before we're finally done with the 3Q ranks and we've finally gotten rid of this question mark. I'm very excited to get rid of the question mark on my account here. I think it doesn't matter as much on Pandanet because not the same as like on KGS or OGS where you can see that they're a person with a question mark or a person who doesn't have a rank settled yet. You can decide not to play that game. I think it's mostly just auto match here on Pandanet. I think you can challenge somebody, but you have to like scroll the list or like you're looking for someone specific, I think. Anyway. Let's get into the game and let's see how this 3Q hopefully plays. All right, got a game already. Facing an American. That'll be fun. And I am white, but they are a 4Q plus, so I believe there's no Comey. And this time I'm just going to go for probably double 4/4s just to try things out. One of the things I don't like about this website or this server is 4Q plus makes me think 5 is next. But because Q ranks go down in number, the plus is, it just feels a little awkward. I don't know. It's kind of just something that's always gotten to me a little bit. The plus feels wrong. They're approaching first. I really like approaching a 3/4 point, but I also don't like to give my opponent too many options to keep the game simple. So in this case, I am just going to back off. If they decide to take the 3/4 point, I'm the one who gets to come over to their area first. And this actually gives me a little bit of a tricky situation here, because normally when you have this extension, I want to get rid of the enclosure, but I can also approach the 3/4. So it just depends on what you value more. I think both moves are going to be good. In this case, maybe if we approach the 3/4, we can talk a little bit about invasions on the top, depending on how he decides to play. He's going to do the pincer. There is the attachment here with weird Joseki. You need a lot of Joseki knowledge, so I'm just going to do this diagonal. This is a very old school move, but it's still perfectly fine. The idea is that we're threatening to attack this cornerstone by playing this large knight's move. And then if they respond, we can then go into the corner and get a little bit of corner, which helps us get at least a potential eye here. Normally they should actually defend the cutting point, but they're doing that one, which allows us to Hane in the corner. If we get to capture here, we feel really happy. Normally, I think if we get this Hane, we can probably attack directly, but I'm going to stick with the standard Joseki here and just press down from the top. They should jump, then we can push and turn, which are the standard moves. It looks really slow, but it actually is sort of necessary because this push and cut is really painful. But now that we have this move in the corner, if I Atari and do this, I'm basically alive. I don't need to do that though. There's no reason to. I'm really strong. We can definitely either approach the corner or attack this group. Another tricky question to ask myself. Do I want to approach the corner or attack? If I attack and they pincer me, then I can cover the group and I think it's dead. So I think I will attack first. And then if they come out, we can Hane and probably get this approach first. Or if they do this one, we can just push because we can come over the top. And we can even peep here. Very, very annoying peep. And then I'm going to approach. I just need a base for my group. That's all I'm looking for here. Even if they kick me, my group is very close to being settled. And they still owe a move on the top side. Yeah, very good. This is sort of like a last resort thing. So I don't need to play it right away. But as you see, I can live at any time. And if I do this one, they could extend, but then they lose their eye as well. I think I want to jump out one more time with this group, which is highlighting the fact that we can invade on the top side. Sure, I will just block. This is actually helping me and not helping my opponent, because now my group is actually even more alive. Whereas before I had a potential elephant eye shape here, but now that that's gone, I have more eye shape. That is quite interesting. They were supposed to try to save this group, so we're going to go around this group. We want to try to surround this one as best we can. And I think we can actually just surround them, because if we push one time, and if they extend, we can just jump here, and I think they're surrounded. We do have the possibility of cutting them, but we can also lean on this bottom side, be able to push this down and maybe get some extra moves from it. So I'm going to do that first. They can't push and cut me down here. They could push and cut the other way, but that wouldn't be very good. So we're going to be applying a little bit of pressure here. There's not that much that we can do, but we can do at least a little bit of something. And we could even defend in a way that gets us some nice shape here. But I'm just wondering if there's something extra we can do here. I think I'm going to defend the fact that they can cut. They have to jump out. Or extend is good too. And then we can potentially cut here to Atari through. We can be very aggressive, but I'm not going to worry about being too aggressive. Though they are not alive, That's the problem, right? It's easy to want to do something because like, oh, they're not alive yet. So maybe this is fine. If I go down and they cut, we Atari, and we capture. Oh, we can't even capture. You know what? I'm not going to worry about that. I'm still going to go down, but I'm not going to worry about it. If they cut, we're just going to squeeze. I'm going to let them capture. And he's not going to do that, so I feel extremely good to get this Hane. He could have cut there. That is more advanced, but we are getting close to the Dawn level, so I feel like advanced is a good thing right now. And this is too much. Okay, so we're extremely strong here. We can't even be cut at all. So they're right next to a very thick wall and another weak group. So if we kick them, yes, they're going to have some sort of base here, but they're not going to have a full base. Do I want to attach here? Do we want to capture here? Maybe capture to threaten the base. If we Hane here, this would be nice. Wasn't sure which one I wanted the most, but... Oh, they really don't care about their weak groups. This is very unusual for Pandanet. In this case, I don't care. I want to gain strength, so I'm going to attach their group because I'm surrounding the bottom side. Yep, I'm just going to let them have it. This is exactly what I wanted. This is everything that I wanted right here. Yep. I'm just going to connect here. Because I want to keep the outside strong. Yeah, this is everything. There's everything that I wanted. We're going to be attacking this group in a very severe way. Ooh, okay. So I'm going to defend the cutting point, make sure that that is not an issue. At the moment, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't think I care about that right now. We're actually attacking them as a group here because we have two weak groups right next to each other. So we're going to focus on the weak groups. I can even just capture this stone, which is getting rid of an eye. Yep, just go down. Now they have to connect, but there's no clean move to connect, and my groups are all 100% safe. So I can just push and cut them. And they have two weak groups, right? Two weak groups. So I'm going to start with this one, which is threatening the attachment here to cut through this side. All right, and that's allowing me to extend to surround the other group. Yep, and we can just continue to threaten to surround this other group. We can actually probably just answer this one. All right, and then we surround this other group, and now this group is basically dead. I think we can actually just Atari here, and then fix our cutting point. And then we can just connect. And now the group is really close to being dead. And this does not cut the way they wanted it to. They had to push and cut in order for it to work. But this cut does not work because I can just net the stone. That was just a reading error there. Yeah, we can just play the net here. So I have to figure out how to live with this group. This is only one eye here. So can I just Atari this one? So I gotta ask some questions. Something that you'll notice is because they made these two weak groups, they still have another weak group they have to deal with. Yep, I'm just gonna connect. That doesn't make them an eye. I'm going to capture here because there's no eye over here. Yep, I can just connect solidly. Now they only have one eye that they can make. Yep, we just connect. There's no other eye here. Our group is safe because we've captured these two stones on the bottom. Yep, so they have this one, but they're already dead. The only way that they could make eyes is if they play here, and they have this Atari that they could get me with. So what if I just fix that? And that gets rid of the other eye here as well. And now the group is dead. They still have another group that they need to live with. Guess that's attacking my corner because they separated. So I will just extend here and maintain connection to my upper left. Yep. Because I don't have eyes, so I want to make sure I'm fine. They're being a little bit greedy here. I'm going to Atari in the center because I think this move was extremely important. They needed to play that move to get strength. And now we can actually continue to potentially attack them here. So in order to do that, we could lean on them first because the points in the corner don't matter if they're dead, right? This is a great way to lean, is to do some sort of attachment here. And if they fight back too much, we take away all the points because we have this double Hane, which allows us to get something with the ladder. This is a really, really common invasion sequence. So yeah, he can go back and live now. But now we have this strength in the center. They're not going to live. So now we just separate them from their other weak group, which doesn't have two eyes. And now you can see that Black's in a little bit of trouble here. And they need to still go back and take the points in the corner here. I'm going to connect, make sure this cutting point doesn't do anything. It's an interesting move. If I block here, they're still threatening the cutting point. So If we go through here and we push, we go through here, can they do this one now? We connect and we're still fine. Versus this one, if they cut, we just fix and we're still fine too. Which one? I think we're fine either way. I'm going to play the safest way by splitting the stones. Yep, just go all the way through here. Now we're all connected. And now they still have to really kill my group on this side. So I will still disconnect because it's also threatening to connect as well. Yeah, and now they need to make a living group. I think it's fine if I let them live here. I'm going to do this Honey. This is like a vital point. I'm making a tiger's mouth shape for myself. So this feels really nice. And I can even get this Atari in. I can't cut, but I can get this Atari in. And then we just connect, which is threatening the cut. They don't necessarily have to save the stones, but it's probably a good idea. And then we can actually just go back and attack the group in the corner and see what they do, because this is worth a lot of points. I don't see a way to easily kill this, so I'm going to do this one first to get some extra strength and see what they decide to do. Yep, just connect. All right, and we will do the Honey diagonal thing. And we can peep here to get rid of an eye. Because we get to push in, this is not an eye here anymore. And they really want to make this part into an eye. I could really prevent that if I wanted to, but it's a little bit dangerous. So we are just going to let them live here. Yep. Just connect everything up. Connect everything. Now our group is 100% alive too. That's one of the really nice benefits here. I'm not even sure I actually need to play another move there, if I'm honest, but we will just connect again. He needed another move here to live anyway, because we could throw in and then push in, and it's just not alive yet. Or we could even just push in directly. It's already not alive. They have half of an eye here. So I feel like connecting here sort of prevents them from getting an eye on this side. They make this one. Do I even need to respond to that either? If they push, we just connect. I don't think I need to respond to this one. So they just need to make another eye here somewhere. And this is the next best spot for them to make an eye, it looks like. So this down here was half eye. It wasn't a full eye. So they needed a Sente eye first before they could make this into a full eye here. This one is not an eye because I can just block this way. It's just a co shape, which is not an eye. This one here, we can probably actually even just connect solidly here. That way we're all connected through. We don't have to worry about the safety of our group. There is some Aji we have to worry about, so it's okay if they live. I'm going to let them live if they play properly here, because maybe it's possible to kill, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. It's an interesting way to do it. Sure, I will just capture. I think this will basically end up the same as how I'm expecting the way that they could live. They need to take this liberty in the center, because if I really try to kill, they get an Atari, and then an Atari, and they can push here, and then the Atari this one, and then there's like a lot of Aji. I think I can technically survive it, but it is a lot of Aji. So if they play this move here, I'm just going to let them live. Interesting. Very, very interesting. They're offering a trade right now. The idea is that if I disconnect my top stones, then this group will die. And then if I connect my top stones, maybe they get to use this Aji. Now I'm going to keep it the same as I did before. I'm still going to play this move to stay connected and let them live if they play here, but they are not going to play there. Okay. So they gave up on living with the group. That's acceptable. That's acceptable. They thought that they couldn't live anymore. I guess I will just Hane. This is fine. I don't need to respond anymore because my group is already strong. So we can Hane on the top side and get some really nice end game in. Yep, it is double Hane technically, but this Hane here is really, really nice. I'm not getting a bunch of points, but it's just reducing them in Sente. That always feels good. And we can poke here to try to push in and try to do some cutting. All right, they did not want us to do that. Now this extend is starting to be a little bit more valuable. I'm making a couple points here, and then if they don't respond, I can turn, and that feels a little bit bad. So sure, I will play here now. I've made it valuable. I definitely don't need to respond, so we will go back to the second line over here. Yep, this is not Sente. Because they Atari here, nothing changes here. If they cut here first, I can Atari them the other direction. So I believe this is not Sente. We could make it Sente if we wanted to, I guess, but this turn is very, very large because they could jump or even push in from there. We can actually push here to get rid of the eye, which is why they shouldn't have made all these exchanges in the center. Yep, just extend here. I can even just block here. I don't really mind, but just blocking here is good enough. This is one reason why I said this area wasn't that many points, because it's really easy to reduce it. Okay, so we're going to try to do something special here, but it just doesn't work. I can just connect solidly. And then, yeah, we just respond the way we're going to respond. Atari from the outside. And we'll fix this one, which means that we can save our stone afterwards. We didn't have to fix it right away because we still have the extra liberty on the outside. But I'm just fixing it now so that he doesn't have to keep worrying about what's in this area. Okay. That is a big move. I just have to connect. Can't let him cut me off. So he's going to do a co here. And do I even need to play the co? I don't actually even need to play the co. I will capture one time because you want to waste a co threat. But he's also not alive here. So he has to be a little bit careful with that. So I can Hana here. Then I can just extend here and I'm alive in the corner. You're going to try to push through, but this group is already alive. I don't need to block here because that's a double cutting point, which he could use. So I'm just going to extend here and we're good to go. Yep, and we just capture that one. He only has 2 liberties here, so he cannot capture me back. I like that he's trying this out, though. Like, it looks like he sees that there's potential for things to happen. You just can't quite figure out how it's going to happen. But I like that he is trying to fight back. Yep, big move. I'll just extend down. It's good enough. I don't want to let him connect under. That would be bad, especially after I killed him. I think I'm probably still winning even then. That is not a Sente move, sadly. I understand the idea, but it is sadly not a Sente move because he can't connect underneath. He still has shortage of liberties. So I'm going to push in here first. And I just wonder if there is anything I can get out of this, like this one here. Not too much. We can get this move at least, but it seems hard to get too much here. This one, if he connects, we capture. If he does this one, we go down. He connects here, we Atari first, and then we can connect. So I think I will do this one still. It's still fun. Yep, go down. And Atari them first. And then connect. Still have this liberty in the corner, so I don't have to worry about this throw-in that he's about to do. Yep, we just capture this stone. Yep, just capture is fine. I still have that 1 liberty, remember. I don't actually have to respond to this one, technically. I can turn here, actually, which is a really funny co-threat, because he can't Atari me at that point. So he has to turn, then we can take back. I don't know if I need to be mean like that, but it's kind of funny. Sure, I'll do that one first, because it's sort of fun. It's not really that mean, but, you know, I'm just throwing it out there. Sort of pointing out that I still had a liberty here. And it's worth a lot of points, especially this late in the game. Okay, he resigned. So this was a very classic game that sort of involved weak groups. I don't necessarily need to review this one because I think I talked about it enough in the game. The only thing that I really need to highlight, first of all, is you shouldn't play this move. You should be playing on the other side. This is like if I get this area first, I get my ice shape, but I can still Atari and Hane, and I still get 2 ice here. So no reason to play a move here right now. Allows me to attack you and approach the corner and be very, very annoying. But even here at this point, if they didn't play this move at S15 and they just continued to run away, I also have a group that's a little bit weak here. So I'm still going to run away as well. He's going to have 1 weak group. I'm going to have half a weak group. I'm going to call it half because I can live locally in a few different ways. I can potentially live here locally. And if I don't live locally, they're in more trouble. My group is actually stronger than it looks, but we will both have to be running out. But because he let me get the first move in the center, allowed me to do a little bit of damage to his group, this gave me a great lead into the game. And all they had to do to prevent this was defend their weak group. What I was going to do is I was going to let them capture these 2 stones if they cut, and I was just going to do a net here, basically. I get extra strength here and then continue to attack and maybe build the left side. That was my goal here. But they captured here because they were a bit too afraid, which makes sense. And I got really, really nice shape. And then they made another weak group, and that's really where things fall apart. If they felt like this group was strong enough, it's okay to play away. But you don't want to make another weak group right next to your group. Because your group's not alive, you could just say it's strong enough, right? I don't think it's strong enough. I would probably jump out again. But if you think it's strong enough, you approach from a side where you're not going to be weak. And then we don't have to worry about fighting with 2 weak groups. So this just turns into a classic double weak group fight. And then he didn't defend his weak group again. And yeah, I'm just going to let him live here. We get really strong. And now he has two weak groups right next to each other. They both have to live. And as you saw what happened in the game, neither of the groups lived because I'm alive on every side of these stones except for the left side, and I'm ahead of them on the left side. So they still need to take time to Atari here in order to even start to surround this group. And if I get there first, I'm just 100% alive. And even if they get that move first, it doesn't even mean my group is bad yet because I can connect underneath. I'm basically just alive on every single side, and they cut wrong. They can cut a different way and it would be a little bit more difficult, but it's still just going to be too much for my opponent, even if they cut properly here. Because I'm going to be safe on every side, basically. Even if my group over here gets in trouble, I'm fairly certain that the capturing race here is going to be better for me anyway, so I don't need to worry about that as much. And for this cut, if they push and cut me, I'm going to push them all the way to the end, and then Atari the cut and capture this stone, which means that I only need to make sure this group's alive and we're good to go. And I have extra strength to do it. So it should be fairly easy. It's just a classic game where my opponent made too many weak groups. Not something you really expect on Pandanet, but it's actually still fun to run these games to demonstrate this idea. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are having a good day and have fun.